Uh-oh.
I may have met you before. My name is Dragana Bogavac. I am faculty at the Boston Architectural College in the School of Design Studies. I come to you today to talk about my favorite topic, something that I've spent many years studying and thinking about, and it is sustainability. So let's get into it a little bit. Sustainability is a big buzzword. You have probably heard it many times before, and in various contexts. You may even have your own definition of it. But the most basic definition we use in design is that it speaks to the ability to sustain a holistic approach to environmental and human well-being. For most of human history, sustainability wasn't a choice, it was a way of life. Early civilizations relied on natural, locally available materials like wood, stone, clay, or animal fibers to build. These resources were reused, repaired, and valued because they were limited and almost always hard-earned. The Industrial Revolution changed everything and brought us into the world of today. Mass production, fossil fuels, and synthetic materials enabled for rapid growth, but also introduced pollution, waste, and depletion of those natural resources. By late 20th century, as environmental damage became impossible to ignore, sustainability evolved into a global movement. Today, it's reshaping how we design, produce, and choose materials. Sustainable materials are materials designed to minimize environmental impact across their entire life cycle, from extraction and manufacturing to use and eventually disposal. Sustainable materials often come from renewable or abundant sources. They use less energy, they produce fewer emissions, and can be recycled, upcycled, reused, or returned safely to nature. Sustainability also includes social and economic responsibility, such as ethical labor practices, durability, and long-term value. Conventional materials of today carry a heavy environmental cost. Plastics can take centuries to decompose. Concrete production contributes significantly to global carbon emissions, and the fast fashion industry of today alone produces vast amounts of textile waste. Sustainable materials help reduce pollution. They conserve resources and lower greenhouse gas emissions, making them essential for a healthier planet. Recycled materials like aluminum, glass, or plastic require far less energy than producing new materials. Recycled aluminum, for example, uses up to 95% less energy. Bamboo grows rapidly, needs little water, and regenerates without replanting, making it a strong alternative to wood. Bioplastics, which are derived from plant-based resources, reduce reliance on fossil fuels and can be biodegradable under proper conditions. Sustainable textiles, such as organic cotton, hemp, and recycled polyester, are helping reduce water use and chemical pollution in the fashion industry. Innovative materials, including mushroom-based packaging, algae-derived plastics, and lab-grown leather, demonstrate how science is redefining sustainability. When we think about sustainable materials, some key characteristics come to mind. One of them is renewability. That means that they're made from resources that can regenerate naturally. They have low environmental impact. That means that it requires less energy to produce them and emits fewer emissions. They are durable. They're long-lasting and resistant to wear, reducing the need for replacement. Also, recyclability or biodegradability, which means they can be reused, recycled, or safely decomposed. They're non-toxic. They're safe for human health and ecosystems, and they are ethically sourced, which means they're produced under fair and responsible working conditions. During the 1970s, sustainability moved from being an unconscious practice to a deliberate public priority. This decade marked the first time modern societies seriously questioned material consumption, pollution, and resource use. No longer was sustainability merely a concept or a set of ideas. There was now a set of organizations like the World Watch Institute, which is now dissolved, the Rocky Mountain Institute, and the formation of the United Nations Sustainable Development, among many others. This movement highlighted rising environmental awareness. Events like large-scale oil spills, air and water pollution, and visible waste accumulation made environmental damage impossible to ignore during this time. We also saw the creation of the first Earth Day in 1970. Millions of people who participated worldwide, bringing environmental protection, including material choices, into mainstream culture. The oil crisis of 1973 brought forward fuel shortages and highlighted dependence on non-renewable resources, pushing interest in recycled materials, energy efficient production, and alternative resources. We saw the growth of recycling programs. Glass, paper, and metal recycling gained popularity as sustainable material use became a civic responsibility and something we began adopting in our own homes. Eco-friendly design and architecture, finally, designers began experimenting with natural materials. Passive solar design was more intentional, and low energy construction methods we saw during this period as well. Recycled paper and metals became more common. Natural fibers like cotton, wool, and hemp regained popularity, and material durability and reuse were emphasized over disposability. Many sustainable practices we use now, like reduce, reuse, recycle, originated or gained momentum in the 70s. This era laid the foundation for today's innovations in biodegradable, recycled, and renewable materials. Today's LEED rating system for sustainable design, leadership in energy environmental design, is certification that is globally recognized and provides a framework for healthy, efficient, and cost-effective green buildings, homes, and communities. Despite their advantages, however, sustainable materials do face challenges. Some are costly, they're difficult to scale or mass produce, or they depend on proper recycling systems that can be intricate and costly and complicated. And in the end, sustainability works best when it is supported by technology innovation, policy that supports their production and use, and also informed ethical choices. I guess in conclusion, sustainable materials combine ancient wisdom with modern innovation. By understanding their characteristics and choosing them wisely, we can reduce our impact on the planet and help create a future that's built to last and possibly even heal itself. Thank you.